Hold on, there was a guy down here with two of them. And I wanted to see it. You know that half of the riders are already going to be doubting themselves. You're going to be stinking, you're going to be covered in mud, and it's going to be head to toe lake thing. You're going to be riding through this, through that, and you're not going to be able to see like the bottom of this puddle, and you're just going to have to hit it and hope that you stay upright. But the team have been very good in saying there's no pressure on you to do this. We just want to see how you are in the World Tour in 140, 150, 160k days. Like 100k is almost more than what I'm used to racing. It's taking a step up, and hopefully by the end of the season I'll have helped out for some results. I'm Zoe Backstead. I'm junior cyclocross world champion, junior track world champion in the Madison, junior time trial world champion, and junior road race world champion 2022. My mum is Megan Backstead, was British national road champ. My dad is Magnus Backstead, won Paris-Roubaix in 2004. My sister Eleanor Backstead, she rides for Trek Segafredo. Yeah, we're just a cycling family.
Mais vous avez un extraordinaire pilote qui connaît bien le vélo et qui manie bien la moto.
Exact.
Hommage à tous nos pilotes.
Qui revient également,
The first couple of times I come into the velodrome, it's just that raw noise.
Jamais un Suédois n'a gagné Paris-Roubaix et il en reste Magnus Backstead.
But in my head, it was silent. I could hear the gears changing, I could hear the brakes touching the rims, you know, you could hear every movement, everything that was going on around me, but nothing else. At that moment, something clicked in my head at the same time, and I was like, okay, this is the day that I got the legs, I got everything right to be able to battle with the best.
Magnus Backstead debout sur les pédales. Magnus Backstead, le Suédois, le plus fort Backstead devant Hoffmann, Hamann et Cancellara, c'est historique.
But for me, it was a life-changing moment. I knew that I would put everything into winning that bike race one day before I hung up my bike. You have to be really, really clever. You have to be bold with your moves and dare to take the bike race on. And I think that's why we see some of the more unpredictable winners actually win the bike race, because they took it on and they managed to stay out there and they kept on believing, kept on pushing until they crossed that finish line. And that's just awesome to me.
Being in here and seeing everyone's plaques on stone and getting to see his and sit in his little booth, and yeah, it gives me shivers thinking back and understanding his love for the sport and his love for the race. And you know, like when I watch it with him, his face just lights up and he's like, I just love Roubaix. And I think that's also where I get my love for it. Coming into the first races, I was nervous. I put a little bit of pressure on myself. I needed to be up there because I wanted to prove that I am worthy of riding for the team I'm riding for. I never had any pressure to have a career in cycling. When I was growing up, I was doing netball, tennis, athletics, cross-country, cycling. You name it, I kind of was doing it, that kind of thing. Mum and Dad always said that they'd support us through whatever we wanted to do.
Good girl, Zoe. Keep it going, darling. That's really good. Keep it going.
One day I said to Mum and Dad, I was like, I don't want to do these other sports. I just want to do cycling for a bit and see what happens. And it was the best decision I could have made.
De Magnus Backstead, superbe victoire.
Rêve de toute ma vie. Je suis dit, c'est vrai, c'est vraiment quelque chose de spécial.
It means a lot as a woman to be able to race it, just because I never really thought that we'd get one. Obviously, it's developing over the years. Like we can see that with Roubaix now and the Tour de France Femme. But when I was younger, I raced all of those mini Roubaix, and then I was like, that's it.
We went across a number of years ago to do the mini Paris-Roubaix, and both of the girls were sat in the car on the way back writing a letter to the UCI and to ASO saying that please make it a race for women also. You know, this has always been something that they wanted to do.
And I was like, absolutely, I cannot wait to turn pro and be able to do that.
You're not recording, apparently. We get along so well, which I find so funny sometimes, the age gap. Although she'll say like, yeah, we're different ages, but we're mentally the same age. So I'm saying it's probably because she's very mature for her age. That's what I'm saying.
When I have fun on the bike, I do well.
I'm really shy, so I'm not used to being in front of a camera.
She's such a champion, and the world knows it. And there's a lot of pressure on her, you know, and I just want her to love what she does. And I think if she loves bike racing, she's going to have a long career. Her whole family is steeped in the sport, right? Like, I go back to my family. Do we even talk about bike racing? No, we're talking about like all my nieces and nephews who like pooped over here, and you know, like it's so different. We can really like switch off. I mean, I was 19 when I got my first bike. I actually had no idea about bike racing. Maybe, you know, kind of knew the Tour de France, but I'm always a person that just says yes to opportunities, whatever it be, trying new things. And when I do, I just apply myself totally at it and see how far I can take it.
Paris-Roubaix is, in my mind, the hardest one-day bike race in the world to win. It's just something like mythical about it. You either love it or you hate it. There's no in between.
When you go into that velodrome and you know how many editions have ended here in such an epic battle, I'm a dreamer. I can't help but go in there and just like think like, oh, if this were me.
Walking into the showers is almost like straight away the hair stands straight on your arms. The blood, mud and tears and joy, and there's something in the walls, in the floor, in the ground.
There is no other race that's like Paris-Roubaix. In any other race, if we were to ride on a road with that many potholes and things, we would be like, call it off. It's totally for the fans. The fans love this race because there's action and chaos from kilometer zero to the end, and you really don't know who's gonna win.
5 étoiles, vous le voyez.
The winner is a friggin' tough bike racer. Whoever wins, they've earned that whole journey to get there. It's not by luck, it's by tenacity, grit. It just creates a champion that the people love.
It's iconic, it's everything, you know, like people have been racing this race for hundreds of years. It would mean the world to me, it would mean the world to anyone to win a race like this.
Seeing both the girls at the start, it was a big, big thing.
I'm my own best cheerleader for sure, and I mean, if you would ask me if I could win any bike race, I'm backing myself.
Number 134, Alison Jackson. If it came to a sprint on this velodrome, you would put your money on Alison Jackson to win this race.
Realistically, in our sport, we're gonna lose more than we win. Leading up to Paris-Roubaix, we had lost no matter what, I'm riding my heart out in this race to make it happen because I didn't want to lose anymore.
On the front of the peloton then, Eleanor Backstead in that blue and white jersey, doing a wonderful job.
It's a very, very special day for the whole Backstead family and both of the daughters making their debut. Their dad, Magnus Backstead, in the team car as a sports director for Canyon SRAM, so all three family members, they know every inch of the road.
This is now the race that I've entered into. This is the cards that I'm playing, is this early break move, so you got to commit to what that can produce.
To see Susanna Anderson back to full form is brilliant. You can just see her there in that yellow and red kit, number 153.
And at one part of the race, she comes to me and she's just says, like, Alison, you're riding really strong. But also it's a bit dangerous to tell me that because I'm like, oh yeah, I am a boss. And then, I take that feeling and I go far with it.
Big attack now from Alison Jackson, the former Canadian champion.
And I look back and I see the group that is so close. And then I think, man, we've been out here for 140K to give it up, 5K to go. And I was like, if I was 7th, that would be a great result. This is a great opportunity. I'm riding full gas.
Look at Jackson, the former Canadian champion, saying, come on, keep working. There is still an opportunity.
So now we had 15 seconds, 12 seconds, 15, 20 seconds.
10 seconds, 1,800 meters. Jackson flicks the elbow. They cannot afford to not keep driving on. The breakaway is still away.
Femke Marcus on the wheel, there's a big crash, Marcus is down.
There's no thinking. The flow state that I was in coming to the velodrome, I'm not thinking, I'm just feeling and allowing my instinct to control what I was doing.
Alison Jackson, the sprint starts. Alison Jackson of EF Education. Is she gonna do it? She does. Alison Jackson.
It's just unbelievable to cross it and know that, like, this title is mine. I actually won the bike race.
Straight into a dance. Of course, I wouldn't expect anything less from Alison Jackson.
You know, it's always a goal of mine to win a World Tour race. This is an unbelievable thing for me as a person, myself, and my career. For the team, for my family. I mean, there's so many thoughts and feelings in few words.
Florence Parisot,
Take the flowers then.
Yeah. She's a heavy one. I've always wanted to name it Alfred, but I like to just call it my pet rock. When we were at that the press conference after, and someone asked us like, "Oh, are you gonna do a dance with the cobblestone?" And then I was like, I don't know, Cobblestone. Do you have any dance moves?
Get the groove on down, make a difference, smooth the system. Time to move on out. I gotta keep dancing. Look at what I got. I gotta keep dancing.
Well, I gotta pee in this cup, actually.
You got enough?